Back in 1990s, when I was just a kid, I spent the night at my aunt and uncle's house in southern West Virginia. Their house was nestled deep in a holler, surrounded by rolling hills and dense forests. It was the kind of place where the nights were completely dark, the kind of quiet that settled heavy in the air. My grandmother's house sat at the head of the holler, a good distance away, separated by a wide, open field. Right in the center of that field stood a lone sycamore tree, tall, thick, and sprawling, its gnarled branches stretching outward like skeletal arms. It was late afternoon when my aunt sent me up to my grandmother's house to fetch either sugar or flour. Just a simple errand, something I had done plenty of times before. The path was familiar, well-worn, cutting through the grassy field. I reached my grandmother's house without a problem, grabbed what I needed, and then got distracted, as kids often do. I lost track of time playing in the yard, kicking at rocks, chasing fireflies, weaving through the trees at the edge of the property. The light changed around me, the golden warmth of the sun sinking lower. Shadows stretched across the land, growing long and distorted. The air cooled slightly, carrying the scent of damp earth and grass. It wasn't until I noticed the way the sky had dimmed into a deep orange, swallowing the last remnants of daylight, that I realized how late it had gotten. I had stayed too long. I hurried back toward my aunt's house, gripping the cup tightly in my hands. My feet crunched over the dry path, my pace quickening as the blue-gray twilight crept across the field. Everything felt different now. The open space that had seemed peaceful during the day suddenly felt too exposed, too vast. The sycamore tree loomed ahead, its trunk wide, its roots thick. It had always stood there, familiar and ordinary, but something about it felt heavier now in the dying light. I stepped under the tree's sprawling branches. Just as I passed beneath it, something above me screamed. It wasn't an animal call, not an owl, not a fox, not even the eerie cry of a bobcat. This was different. It was loud, piercing, and human, like a woman screaming. It sliced through the silence, raw and filled with something. Fear? Rage? Warning? My body locked up, every muscle tensed, my breath caught in my throat. The sound rang out again, jagged and chilling, coming from the branches above me. I didn't stay to figure out what it was. Panic took over. My fingers loosened, and I let the cup slip from my grip, not caring where it landed. My legs moved before I could think, feet pounding against the ground as I sprinted toward the house. The wind rushed past my face, my heartbeat slamming against my ribs. The sycamore faded behind me, swallowed by the shadows. As I neared the porch, the front door flew open. My uncle stepped outside, his rifle clutched in his hands, his expression hard. "Mountain lion," he muttered, scanning the tree line. I stood beside him, breathless and shaking. He walked cautiously toward the sycamore, rifle raised, eyes narrowed, waiting for movement. The branches above swayed slightly, rustling in the breeze, but nothing emerged. No glowing eyes, no shifting shadows, nothing. The holler had gone dead silent. The next morning, my uncle searched again. He walked the field, checked the grass, looked for tracks near the tree, but found nothing. No sign of an animal, no claw marks, no disturbances in the dirt. They searched for the cup I had thrown too, but it was gone, vanished. I told myself it was a mountain lion. That's what made sense. That's what I had to believe. But that scream? It wasn't like anything I had ever heard before. It sounded too human, too deliberate, too wrong. I still hear it sometimes when I think back to that night. Something was in that tree. Something had been watching, and it made sure I would never forget.